Did you purchase an expensive condo? I am aware of that. How come? You can't resist it, so I'll accept it. Typically, my mother-in-law doesn't leave pleasant calls. Yes, I had bought a $800,000 apartment on my own, but I hadn't told her about it. It was supposed to be only my spouse and me who knew about this. Did my husband, perhaps, tell you about this? And you will work for me going forward. It felt as if she was announcing that she would be treating me like a maid, but I was not going to just go along with her demands. Instead, I was going to utilize this as an opportunity to come up with a plan. I then feigned to comply. If you say so, I will obey. Humph, it appears you've figured out where you belong. You need to have taken this action right away. As soon as the timetable is finalized, I will notify you because I need to get ready. She called me 30 times the day of the move. She said, "Where is the condo?" When I answered the phone. How come? That's where it ought to be. Did you mislead me? Through the phone, I could feel her panic. It was difficult not to laugh out loud. I was halfway through carrying out a retaliation plot against my mother-in-law. I am Kathy Brown. I work as a regular office employee at a financial company and am 35 years old. 5 years ago, I would Scott. Despite not having kids, I think our days are meaningful. Perhaps it's time for us to buy a home. Yes, but owning a condo is also a good option. Purchasing a condo would, in fact, raise its worth. While single-family homes are great, should we also take condos into consideration? Purchasing a condo looks reasonable if you say so. Our lives have always revolved on our work. The finest part of working was the joy of it, even if we put in moderate work and made a respectable salary. Did something nice happen today? Was a question I received on my 33rd birthday. Oh, pay attention to this. When I arrived home, I told him, I got a promotion. Are you serious? That is fantastic. You've put in a ton of effort. I'm grateful. We're getting closer to purchasing the condo now. Therefore, I cannot fall behind. Being motivated is a good thing, but moderation is key. Don't worry, I know. We have put forth considerably more effort since then. My heart was full of joy even on the days that I came home exhausted. You feel more capable of pushing yourself when you are around someone who puts in a lot of effort. Scott was promoted after a year in the job. Everything was proceeding according to schedule. Do you think it's a good time now? A pleasant experience? Yes, I understand. I already have the pamphlets. Normal Kathy, you know, swift as ever. Hey, I just thought of the best idea. You know that in 6 months is your birthday? Then, let's make a decision. I was very pleased with this suggestion. We made the decision to purchase the condo and move in before my next birthday. Then we must make a decision quickly. There's an overload of choices. Proceed with caution. Let's decide on a topic we can both agree on. We talked about our future ambitions and our condo search. As I reached 35 this year, I also had aspirations of becoming a parent shortly. Purchasing a condo was a crucial step in realizing that goal. Tomorrow my mother is coming over. Wow, that's sudden. She's been trying to contact you multiple times. The next day my mother-in-law arrived and everything changed dramatically. Scott, I came to visit. What has brought you here suddenly? Is it not acceptable that I attend? In addition, I promised to come. My mother-in-law stated this, casting a scornful glance at me. She obviously didn't think favorably of me. I apologize. I've been very busy lately at work. I'm your mother-in-law, albeit that may not be the case. Are you aware of that? Obviously, I'll use greater caution from now on. Are you serious? Saying things without meaning them is simple. That's when my hubby stepped in. From what I see, Kathy is doing her best at both work and home. Please stop. I won't say anything more if you say so. Therefore, why are you here today? There's a place I want to go to. Talking about a vacation, my mother-in-law excitedly took out a travel guide from her purse. Yes, the place I want to go is, she said, describing her desired destination with passion. My husband was paying attention at first, but as he grew fatigued, his nods became clumsier. We didn't even have time for a trip after all. We wanted to choose a new house and relocate as soon as possible. Mom, I know you want to go, but this is a crucial moment for us. Hold on. Can't the excursion wait until later? Why? My spouse's shocked reaction was visible when he heard her reply. I experienced the same emotions. Maybe we should postpone it to another time. Kathy, don't worry about it because you'll be staying home alone anyway. What are you talking about? I'm talking about a family trip. So Kathy is also a member of the family, correct? You stated it clearly yourself. My spouse had a valid argument. I eagerly awaited my mother-in-law's next words, but she surprised me with her response. I've never thought of Kathy's family. What? What does that imply? I was actually against this marriage, but your father insisted. How could you say that? Get out. What? I'm directing you to go. My mother-in-law felt something was off, and she started to quietly get ready to leave as my husband raised his voice. She turned to me as she was leaving, saying sarcastically, "Scott to be deceived by such a woman." I apologize. I had no idea you were so despised. It is not a concern. I didn't think she would like me right away. If only Dad were still here. Yes, a year after our marriage, my father-in-law passed away from kidney disease. My husband stated that my mother-in-law would not have been as enraged if my father-in-law had still been living. He literally controlled her. She grew irrational after his passing, as though she was spewing about everything. It's true that my mother causes difficulty. How should we approach this, I wonder? She began asking us for money after Dad passed away because she wanted to take a trip paid for by us. It appears that she has already used up your father's entire inheritance. Yes, I can't believe her. While we were discussing this, I suddenly noticed something. Huh? Where's the condo brochure that was on the table? What? I didn't move it. No way. There was only one possible explanation. Unbelievable. Did she take it? Isn't that a problem? Definitely a problem. She'll surely bring it up. Should we just make up some excuse for now? It might be difficult because it's her. We were thinking of taking some action. We decided to bluff our way through, but my mother-in-law was faster than I imagined. The next day, a call came immediately. Are you guys planning to buy a condo? No, we don't have such plans yet. At that moment, my husband switched to speaker mode so I could hear as well. But there was a brochure on the table, right? I see you did take it. Why didn't you consult me? Consulting you wouldn't change anything, and I've said it multiple times. We have no such plans. Buying a condo is still a long way off. Is Kathy there? Surprised by my mother-in-law's sudden question, I shook my head. No, she's not here. What's up? She is not suitable for our family. What are you talking about? Just as I said, I don't feel any respect from her, and I wonder why you married someone like that. The conversation suddenly became intense, and the criticism towards me began. I have no regrets about marrying Kathy. I am grateful that she married a boring man like me. Even if you say so, time will reveal the true nature of your wife. My mother-in-law abruptly ended the conversation. It was an unbelievable discussion, not something that can be easily resolved. Both my husband and I sighed. At that moment, my husband's smartphone received a notification again. From his reaction, it was clear what it was about. Is she asking for money again? Yeah, this really isn't something we should be doing. My mother-in-law asks for money almost every month. The money she receives is quickly spent. My husband knows this, but after all, she is his mother. Since my father-in-law passed away, my husband was her only son. It can't be helped. My husband has never been able to escape his mother's control. While I understand his feelings, seeing her repeatedly hurl insults at me, it seemed he was starting to feel that this couldn't continue. Yet my mother-in-law kept coming to our house, asking when we would buy the condo. So when are you buying it? As I've told you many times, we have no such plans. It's troubling to have you come every week. What's troubling about it? If you have no plans now, we could plan it together. I'm tired of my current home, too. The current house was also left by Father, right? Speaking like that is disrespectful to him. But what's the point of thinking about someone who's no longer here? Or can your father do something about it? She's not wrong. However, there's no need to voice it. Hearing her comment, my husband's expression grew even more stern. Please go home for today and don't come here anymore. Such discussions are sufficient over the phone. You choose Kathy over me, your mother. Yes, I do, and clearly that's your fault. To think you've become so poisoned. Where did the old Scott go? Is that all you have to say? Please leave. We're busy. If you talk to your mother like that, you'll definitely regret it later. My mother-in-law left, dropping a parting shot like a villain in a drama. Every time my mother-in-law came over, I ended up more exhausted than from my regular work. Still, I respected her stance of not yielding to her son's numerous words. How long will this go on? Honestly, I'm getting tired. But if we move, it'll be farther away, so she might not come as often. I hope that becomes reality. The condo we chose was over an hour away by train from our current residence. There were several similar condos nearby, but ultimately we chose one as far from my mother-in-law as possible. We intended to reset our relationship with her through the move, and we were finally done with moving. When you actually enter the room, you really get its appeal points. It's exciting to think that a new life is starting. Choosing a tower condo was the right decision. We purchased a new tower condo in the suburbs. It cost $800,000. Thinking that putting it under my husband's name might lead to problems if my mother-in-law found out, we put it under my name. However, the next day I received a call from my mother-in-law. You bought a luxury condo, didn't you? I know about it. What? It's too good for you, so I'll take it. Calls from my mother-in-law are usually not of a pleasant nature. Indeed, I did purchase an $800,000 condo under my own name, but I had not informed her. Only my husband and I were supposed to know about this. Did you hear about this from my husband, maybe? And from now on, you will work for me. What do you mean? Don't you understand? You'll be useful to me as a maid. I looked up at the ceiling in dismay. However, I had no intention of simply complying with my mother-in-law's demands. Instead, I planned to use this situation to devise some kind of strategy, so I pretended to comply. If you say so, I will obey, I said. Humph, it seems you finally understand your place. You should have done this from the beginning, she replied. I need to prepare, so I will let you know as soon as the schedule is set. Hurry up and decide, she added. For now, I waited for my husband to come home so I could discuss the situation with him. All I thought about was how to counteract my mother-in-law. At that moment, I was startled by a tap on my shoulder. Are you okay? Yes, just deep in thought. What happened? Well, I just got a call from your mother. I told him about the content of the call. Scott, you didn't talk to your mother, did you? No, I didn't say anything. I thought it would lead to this kind of situation if I did. How did she find out then? I have no idea. Oh, maybe. Suddenly, my husband exclaimed as if he had realized something. What? What is it? Maybe it was my uncle, whom we met recently, Mom's brother. Oh, right. He's not a bad person, but I forgot he's a chatterbox. Sorry, that was my mistake. I was there too, so it's not just your fault. Besides, it's still okay, I answered with confidence. I have a plan in mind. Afterwards, I explained the plan I had thought of to my husband. That might work, but are you sure you're okay to handle the talking? Leave that to me. I'll handle it properly. All right, I trust you. The next day, I called my mother-in-law. I wanted to tell her that we had set a moving date. And when is that? We're planning for next Saturday. Both Scott and I are off that day, so we can help. That's thoughtful of you. Then what's the address? About that, I told my mother-in-law the address of the new condo. Given it was her, I thought she would simply believe it without verifying. To ensure everything went smoothly, we arranged the movers ourselves. We wanted to avoid any mishaps that might occur if the movers, unaware of the situation, said something. We will arrange the movers, so please make sure you're done packing by then. You should have done that from the beginning. Yes, that was my fault. I behaved in a way that gave her as much credit as possible. I was hoping she would experience a greater disappointment on the moving day. That way, there was no other reason to do this. The next week couldn't come soon enough for me. Just imagining her reaction when she discovered the truth was so exciting that I could hardly sleep. Is my room well prepared? Of course, we have prepared the best room for you. That sounds wonderful, and you will take care of me. I won't be doing that. Didn't I tell you before? Have you forgotten the maid thing? That's not possible. Whether it's possible or not doesn't matter. You will do it. I'm getting old, so it's only natural that I'd be taken care of. My mother-in-law was astonishingly out of touch with reality. For me, I just wanted everything to stay the same until moving day. Furthermore, my mother-in-law got so excited about the moving preparations that she became even more uncontrollable. Today I got a call from Mom. Did something go wrong again? She went ahead and bought furniture, and the bill is supposedly ours. She does whatever she wants. She should have bought it herself. How much did it all come to? It looks like it's over $1,000. I'm not surprised by anything anymore. This kind of conversation continued, and a week passed. Then, on moving day, I received 30 calls from her. When I answered the phone, "Where is the luxury condo?" "What? It should be right there. You tricked me, didn't you?" I could sense her panic even over the phone. It was hard to hold back my laughter. I covered my mouth desperately to keep my voice down. "What do you mean? I don't understand this. This is no joke. When I went to the address you gave me, there was no condo, just an empty lot." "What? That's strange. There was supposed to be a tower condo there." "Oh, that's the site where the tower condo will be built. I'm sorry, I made a mistake." "Really? What is going on? Give me the correct address." "Well, where could it be?" Of course, I had no intention of giving her the real address. Doing so would have made all our plans pointless. "Scott must be there. Put him on the phone quickly." "He's here, but are you sure that's a good idea?" "Stop talking nonsense and just put Scott on the phone." Then I set the smartphone to speaker and handed it to my husband. "Hello. What is all this about?" "I'm ready. Just give me the new address of the house." "Before that, maybe you're misunderstanding something. Who said anything about living together? Are you planning to abandon your own mother?" "Avoid saying such awful things. You have made all of the decisions thus far on your own. You've always followed your own wishes." My spouse's remark caused my mother-in-law to go silent. She undoubtedly thought that sharing a home was a given, but it wasn't that easy. This was an inevitable result under the circumstances. She didn't understand the situation anymore. "Are you starting to get it now? Please give up on the dream of living together, as it is not feasible." "I mean business. Put an end to your jokes." "My line is that. Regretfully, you will now need to fend for yourself. We will no longer meddle." "How am I supposed to live then?" "You'll work it out on your own. You are not a youngster." Nevertheless, my mother-in-law didn't seem to be giving up. "Just tell me the address of your condo." "That is not feasible. You would just come over if I did." "And what's the issue there?" I believe Scott needs to give a clear explanation. In that instant, my spouse appeared unwavering. "Let me be clear. I'm going to miss you, Mom. We're not going to be involved anymore." "How come?" "Precisely like that." "That's accurate. Now do you get it? You will not be allowed in, even if you manage to get here. This house is mine." "Put an end to it, acting in such a horrible manner. And you believe there aren't any problems." Naturally, I no longer had any compassion for my mother-in-law. My concern was not about her future. Please don't get in touch with us ever again. Hold on. I hung up the phone before my mother-in-law could say anything further. Despite his heavy sigh, my spouse didn't display regret. Did I make the right decision? Indeed, we can now at last enjoy some tranquility. So let's have a celebration today. What if we went out to dinner? Yeah, that seems like a really good concept. Let's head out now. I had never seen my husband's face so bright as he got ready to depart. I never felt lighter, and I didn't regret it either. We thus ended our relationship with my mother-in-law. My spouse will no longer provide her with financial support, regardless of the challenges that may emerge. The movers said my mother-in-law's only option was to go back home, but we hadn't put up call blocking at that point. Never assume that doing this will have no repercussions. From now on, you shall witness hell. You shouldn't be concerned about it. Rather, you ought to exercise caution. You can't continue to live the same way you did. You'll get it eventually. Just be ready. Yes, in fact, it will be interesting to see you decline. How hateful her daughter-in-law is. My mother-in-law didn't seem to be able to break her previous spending patterns. She thus accrued debt and even lost the home my father-in-law had left to her. She was compelled to ask her brother for assistance after losing her place to reside. But that also didn't work out nicely. Uncle claims that she was evicted from her apartment in less than a month. He reached out to me this morning. That's just the way she is. She deserves this because up until now she had been living off of your money. Yes, I did alert you. She was always quite proud. What is she doing now, then? Unclear says she lives in a tiny, dilapidated flat. Being in such a setting could be beneficial for her. She appeared to have attempted to work, but she was rejected everywhere and had trouble holding down a job. And what about us? That's really fantastic news. This makes me very happy. We've come very close to realizing what, deep down, I've always wanted. It is so much that I find it difficult to be moved. That is untrue. Our family is going to expand. That's right. I'm happy that our efforts have finally paid off because I've been dreaming of this day for a very long time. We had long yearned for a child, and now we had been blessed with one. This was truly a gift from heaven that took a long time and a lot of work to obtain. There is no doubt that the future we are about to enter is full of hope and will undoubtedly make our lives shine even more.